Alright, hey guys, this is Mervos TCG back with a new video. So with this video, I'm bringing you PREDAPLANT branded. So this is a PREDAPLANT branded deck profile. The Legendary Duelist Season 3 was just released and a bunch of PREDAPLANT cards got reprinted. So I thought it'd be great to just kind of make my own deck profile for this. And yeah, this deck's pretty good. And if you guys want to test it out, go for it. And I also did test hands and combos, so I'm going to be uploading that soon. Soon after this video. But yeah, let's just get started here. So first, I run one copy of Fairy Tale Snow. So Snow is going to be your main target for when you're using branded fusion, because it's going to be when you're getting out Albion. You want to put Snow down there. Alibur. So Alibur is the purpose of having this card here is in order to go into your branded fusions, and the two Albus, of course, for the branded fusions. Scorpio, you guys, even if you haven't played PREDAPLANT, you probably have seen this because it's been used in like BA. Just for the rank 3 exceed. But Scorpio, really integral to this deck. And with that, one Cobra, because Cobra lets you search out any polymerization spell or fusion spell card. So really good. 3 copies of this and 1 copy of Cobra, because Cobra can be a brick. But if you want to choose 2, just in case, just in the off chance that you draw one of them, that is an option. So here I also run 3 copies of Ash Blossom, because this is just a good generic hand trap to have here. 2 of the Chlamydos Sundu. So the main thing about this card is that you're able to fusion summon, and if you place a predator counter on your opponent, you are able to use their monster. But most of the time you're just going to be using this to fusion summon your own if you're like doing this in opening turn. And 3 copies of the Biblips, because this card is just a great way of just searching out. This card gives you so much value, since if this card is sent to the graveyard, it basically replaces itself by letting you add a PREDAPLANT monster. And if a monster with a predator counter is on the field, you can special summon this card from the grave. So that's just another effect like that can become relevant later on in the game after you use PREDAPLANTing. And here we have 1 copy of Bufo. So Bufo is great here just because, again, kind of the same idea as the Clam. It's just going to be another way of fusion summoning. And you're going to need this if you're going to want to continue going with this deck. You're going to see with the test hand video that how important this card is, and that's why you could even run 2 copies if you choose to do so. 3 Effect Veiler, I thought this was a great hand trap for this deck as well, because it's also a potential target for the Albion fusion summon through the branded fusion. So I think having 3 of these is great too. Instant Fusion is really an integral card to this deck because it's just a great way to go easily into your combo. If you have Instant Fusion, you can go full combo with just this 1 card. So yeah, great to have here. Pred Practice, having 3 copies of it, I think is really important. Just because if you do get the Scorpio, you can use Pred Practice, search at the Biblist, and then use the Scorpio to discard it. And yeah, and if you don't get that either way, Pred Practice just still gives you access to full combo so long as you have a PREDAPLANT monster. 3 Branded Fusion, because this is the other side of the deck, and yeah, great branded engine. Pot of Prosperity, because this deck can sometimes draw into bricks a little too much because of, you know, you are running a decent amount of hand traps. So Pot of Prosperity can just let you go into your engine. Here I run 1 copy of the PREDAPLANT Fusion. So PREDAPLANT Fusion is great just because you're able to fusion summon with your opponent's monsters if you choose to do so, but it's just another option as well in case you just want to fusion summon. Because sometimes you're just like, you just need 1 more fusion summon. Like for instance, if you want to go into the Dragostopelia, sometimes you need that 1 fusion card, and yeah, PREDAPLANT Fusion serves that purpose. And here 1 copy of Called by the Grave, because hand traps, and then 2 branded openings, just another great way of getting into your Alibur. Super Poly, because, you know, a lot of players are running dark monsters, and yeah, using this to get Starving Venom is great. Or even better, if they have 3 dark monsters, you can go into a Triff. So really great card here. And then 1 copy of the Branded Banishment, because it's a great card to get out here in case you want to just bring back your Mirror Jade and use its effect again. The 3 Imperms for the last hand trap, because this card is just another great generic hand trap to have in here. And if you're able to set it, you're just going to be able to block a column as well. And PREDAPLANTing, just being able to place down predator counters on all of your opponent's monsters, as well as you know, when it's in the grave and you fusion summon, being able to pop a card in the field is really important for this deck. And yeah, PREDAPLANTing just works extremely well with Dragostopelia. So having 1 copy of this is great. I know some people run either PREDAPLANT Fusion or PREDAPLANTing. I decided to run both of them. If you choose to like one more than the other, and decide you don't really need the other one, then just choose to do that. But yeah, let's go straight to the extra deck now. So before we go to the extra deck, if you guys are enjoying the video and you want to support the channel, make sure to use the link in the description down below. And you know, if you want to purchase any of these cards and you want to support the channel while you're doing it, the TCG player is in the description down below, and it helps the channel out a lot. And yeah, let's go straight to the extra deck now. So here we have Starving Venom, Predator, Fusion, Dragon. So this card is an Omni Negate with the counters, so Predaplanting is great. Just, you know, put the counters on all your opponent's monsters, and you're able to tribute your opponent's monsters in order to do an Omni Negate. And if this Fusion Summon card is sent to the grave, you're also able to target a dark monster in the grave and special summon it. So really great card here. Yeah, so you're not going to be going into it a lot, but when you can, it's just really useful. Chimera, you know, this card really great too. Of course, you do have to remember that it has to be fusion summoned by a spell card or effect in order to draw cards. In order to either draw cards from the hand and destroy cards on the field. But yeah, so you have to remember that. So if you're using Clam, don't go into the Chimera because this is a monster effect that you're using to fusion summon. But you can use Bufo because Bufo, when it's in the spell trap zone or in the pendulum zone, it is counted as a spell. So just important to remember that. And then here we have So of course the great thing about this is a great super poly target. If your opponent has 3 dark monsters, being able to use this gets you a lot of value. Mirror Jade, the Ice Blade Dragon. You're gonna want to have 2 copies of this. It's just a really great card, and with Albion, it's going to be your main combo. And yeah, just being able to send the fusion monster from your extra deck to the grave in order to banish 1 monster in the field. It's really strong to use, and if this card leaves the field, you can destroy all monsters your opponent controls during the end phase, so it's basically a ticking time bomb. And here we have Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. This card is kind of self-explanatory. You know, it's just a great super poly target. So here I run 2 copies of Dragostopelia. So Dragostopelia is going to be the Predaplant that you're probably going to be going into the most, besides like Ambulo. But yeah, there's 2 forms of disruption in the sense that you can once per turn quick effect target a face-up monster in the field, and if it's level 2 or higher, it becomes a level 1. So of course, in decks that require like specific levels, just being able to provide that disruption is extremely powerful, as well as negating the activated effects of your opponent's monsters that have predator counters. So of course that works really well with Predaplanting, since you're able to just make them all level 1s, and yeah, and you're able to essentially negate all of them just by having Dragostopelia. So really powerful card to have here. And here we have 1 Lubellion. So Lubellion, you're not going to be going into it a lot, but it's great because if you want to fusion summon and you want to use up cards, you know, when this card is fusion summon, you can summon a level 8 or higher, 1 level 8 or lower fusion monster from your extra deck by shuffling monsters. But you know, you're usually going to want to use the ones that are face up banished, so this is typically great after Albion's effect to fusion summon by banishing from the grave. So yeah, you're just going to want to be using that afterwards. So it's usually, I just summon this during the late game. Albion is of course important to your combo. It's going to be your main target when you're using branded fusion. Just being able to fusion summon your Mirror Jade directly. And of course, you're going to be fusion summoning it by banishing the Ambulo. And then after you fusion summon Albion away, in order to get your Dragostopelia, you're able to set a branded banishment in order to use the Mirror Jade effect. But yeah, I'm going to be going over this more thoroughly during the test hands. But yeah, 2 copies of that. Ambulo, because you're going to be going into this card a lot. It's your main combo, so I think having 3 copies for me has been extremely powerful and extremely useful. But of course, if you only want to run 2 copies and want to add something else, go for it. But yeah, this card is just really powerful. If it's fusion summon, it lets you add a Preda monster or Preda spell. Basically, you go into anything Predaplant, it searches it out, and then you can tribute it. It's a Lone Fire Blossom for the deck, so usually this is great. You could just go into your Scorpio and then go full combo again. So yeah, Ambulo, really powerful card in this deck. And then 1 Millennium Eye Restrict. This is going to be just when you want to use your instant fusion to go into it. Of course, you don't really need it too much, but it depends on how much you're afraid of like certain hand traps, and if you think you're a little too weak to them, then you can opt for that. But usually you're just going to want to use instant fusion to go into your Ambulo, since this is your full combo. But yeah, it's if you decide not to use the Millennium Ice, you can still use it as a Pot of Prosperity banishment. But yeah, let's go to the side deck now. So for the side deck, as it is for usual, these are just cards that I considered using, but I didn't add them in. So Nibiru, really powerful hand trap to use, but I decided not to run it. Decided there was enough instances where this card wasn't useful, where I just decided, you know, not to include it at all. One Triantis, because it's a really strong PREDAPLANT monster, it just decided not to run it. It is pretty great though when you draw it with your Bufo, just being able to fusion summon those two and go straight into combo, but yeah, decided not to run that. Romarin, so Romarin here, you can choose to run this instead of the Snow. So Snow is just another form of disruption, while Romarin just lets you search out another plant monster. So it depends on what you want to have. If you want to just set yourself up even better, then Romarin is probably for you. But Snow just gives you another way to disrupt your opponent during their turn and just kind of solidifies the win. So you can choose whichever you think is more useful, but decided not to run Romarin. So here I have 2 Edgem Chain. So here I have the 2 Edgem Chain, the 2 Poly, and the 2 Patchwork. So decided here, this is the whole like Edgem like engine here, the Little Viper engine that you can run, but decided not to run it. I know people use it just to go into the polymerization a lot quicker. And as I said previously, like it is important to get your fusion plays out, but decided that I didn't really need this, and yeah, just opted not to run it. And Masquerade, this is a potential one. If you want to put your opponent in on a timer, then Masquerade is great for that. Just decided not to run that. Same thing with the Titan Clad, the Ash Dragon. Just decided didn't want to run this, rather use the space for something else and keep it more consistent. But yeah, if you guys want to run these, maybe take out the Millennium Eyes, go for that, then go for it. You could even run the other PREDAPLANT monster. I forgot its name, but that one's decent as well. And in case you want to like go into the more PREDAPLANT theme, then go for it. Dark Ruler No More, just another way to break boards if you want to do that, or the 3rd copy of Branded Opening. Decided I didn't really need it, just because it was more consistent on its own. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much the deck profile. If you guys enjoyed the video and you want to like see the test hands, just I'll probably be uploading it like the day after this video. And yeah, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, use the link in the description down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.